Got a stack of summer horror books here, and I'm gonna spend the next 2 weeks reading them. Hey guys, my name is Cameron Chaney, author of Autumn Crow, and welcome back to Library Macabre. Today I have for you a 2-week long reading vlog. I'm gonna dig into some of the summer horror books that have been in my TBR. I just wanna go over them real quick so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I wanna read. So I have right here Fear Street Party Summer. I already started reading this. I started reading it during my Fear Street vlog that I posted recently. I don't know how long ago by the time you watch this. Bottom line, I didn't get a chance to finish reading this during that vlog, so I'm gonna finish it in this one, and it fits the theme perfectly. Party Summer. This is about a bunch of teenage kids who go to Massachusetts to stay in this old historic Bayside town. They're just taking a break from Shadyside and all of the terrors of Fear Street, you know, all of the murders and stuff can get a little bit tiresome. Sometimes you need a vacation. I'm gonna finish reading this first. I'm almost done. I just have like 70 pages left, so hopefully I can finish reading this today. Next, I have a summer coming of age novella. This one's called Of Men and Monsters by Tom Deady. This is released by Crystal Lake Publishing. This is a brand new book. I was just sent this for review. It's super short. It's only like 100 pages. Another coming of age summer story. Here we have Scavenger Summer by Steven Saville. This is from Horrific Tales Publishing. Nice hardcover edition. It says here, summer 1986, a summer of beachcombing and skinny dipping, of amusement park arcades. Those teenage days truly were the best days of my life. Right up until the moment I found my mother's body washed up on the beach. Just got really depressing. Another really tiny little book. This one is Soothing the Savage Swamp Beast by Zakary McGaha. Zakary sent this to me ages ago, and I never got a chance to get to it. But hey, when he sent this to me, my following here on YouTube was a lot smaller, so at least he is reaching a much broader audience with me reviewing it now versus when he sent it to me. So sorry, Zach, that it's taken me so long, but I'm glad that I can finally read this summer. Again, very, very short, so I'm gonna be able to get through this quick now that I have some time set aside to read it. Speaking of water creatures, next we have Lords of the Deep by Tim Meyer and Patrick Lacey. I've read a whole bunch of Patrick Lacey's books. He is the bomb. Tim Meyer, I haven't read a lot of his work, so I'm excited to dig into this. Pirates and Sea Creatures. And speaking of Tim Meyer, here we have Paradise Club. Everyone and their grandmother has read this book, has been talking about this book, says it's the perfect summer read. I feel like I'm the only one who has not read it yet. So basically this takes place in a beachy resort, but it turns out it's not the paradise that everybody thinks it is. The guests are going to be pitted up against a bunch of bloodthirsty maniacs. So it turns into this slasher survival story, and I'm excited to read it. So there is my stack of books to tackle within the next 2 weeks. I think I can swing it. Almost done with this one. These are all pretty short, and then I have like 2 bigger sized books. So I should be able to do this. I don't think it's going to be too hard. A great way to cap off the summer season, and then we're going to get into August, which is when I really start getting in the mood for Halloween. I mean, obviously, kind of already there. I'm always there. But I still wanted to read some summer books, so this will be a good way to kind of, say goodbye to summer and hello Halloween. Hola. So I've been reading for a little bit, not too long, just like 20 minutes. So I got a little bit further, but I'm actually going to go on a hike with my sister and my brother-in-law, and it's National Ice Cream Day, so I'm thinking I'm gonna need to get ice cream. There's an ice cream place really close to where we're gonna hike. Anyway, I'm gonna take you along with me because you guys say that you like when I take you on walks and hikes, so we're gonna do it. guys. So I am at work. I'm on the bookmobile, taking a little reading break. We're not seeing anybody right now, so I have some time to read. I finished Party Summer last night, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that when I get home. I'll do a little review for you guys. So before I left for work, I chose the book that I want to read next, and that is Scavenger Summer. And so far, this is a very interesting read, and there's a lot more to it than I assumed from the synopsis, but I'll tell you more about that later. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update. So yeah, that's the next read, Scavenger Summer. Can't get over how beautiful that cover is. Oh my God. And one more thing, I'm actually at one of the library branches right now, and I looked it up in our system, and it turns out they have a copy of Autumn Crow in stock here. And I've never actually gone into a library and seen my book on the library shelf before. So I think it'd be kind of cool to go inside and look for my book and see where it's at, pull it off the shelf. That will just be so cool. Into the warm night, the symphony of crickets, the shock of the darkness, the relief of being out of the hotel, the fear that she wasn't far enough away yet. Carrie ran with the two boys through the tall grass along the back of the hotel. Everything seemed exaggerated. All her senses were distorted. She could see every blade of grass, every clump of sand before her. She could hear the scratching crickets, the brush of the wind off the ocean, the hard breathing of her companions. She could smell the salt from the water, even smell the grassy dew that clung to her legs as she ran. She could feel the fear. Party Summer! Fear Street, Super Chiller, the very, very first Super Chiller in the Fear Street series. So this is technically book 12 in the series, I guess you could say. It was the 12th Fear Street book ever released. And I really enjoyed this overall. I will say it did kind of start to fizzle out toward the end of the book, but it's definitely over the top, far-fetched, which of course Fear Street, it's far-fetched. The stories are far-fetched. Don't go into these books expecting like a masterpiece of literature, because these are just trashy good fun. This definitely gave me all the summer vibes. It holds true to the cover. It delivers on the beach stuff. I will say this is a little more gothic feeling overall, because instead of just a beach, you have this old bayside hotel. So it's beachy in a New England kind of way. Now, when it comes to the ending of the book, I will say it was spoiled for me. Actually, somebody commented on my last reading vlog telling me what happens at the end before I had a chance to get there. So unfortunately, it was spoiled for me. Don't put spoilers in the comments, guys. Please don't do that. If it doesn't spoil it for me, it'll spoil it for someone else, and it's just never cool. So try to keep aware of the spoilers. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I would say I give it 3.5 to 4 stars. I guess 3.75. Scavenger Summer. This is interesting so far. Of course, the back of the book only tells you like this kid's spending his summer on the beach, and he finds his mother's body washed up on the beach. And that's all it tells you. Very, very quickly, you learn that his mom is actually back at the cabin or wherever they're staying, the beach house. She's making them dinner as if she's still alive. And it's pretty clear that we have an invasion of the body snatchers thing kind of going on here, only with the sea. So there's some kind of sea monster that is killing this kid's family members and becoming them. It's pretty cool. I did not know that this was like a sea creature story going in. I thought this would just be like a really, really dark, grim coming of age story, which it is so far. But yeah, there's lots of beachy sea creature stuff going on, and I'm really digging it.
Hey, so I'm at work, I'm on break, and it's been a couple days since I've updated this thing. Still not doing too good when it comes to vlogging, but I've not finished reading Scavenger Summer yet. It's a good story. I will say that I have noticed some errors when it comes to editing, and there's some weird wording for some stuff that isn't necessarily grammatically incorrect. It's just like I would have worded it differently as the writer personally. I do like it overall. I'm just like, I'm gonna put this away for a minute and I'm gonna pick up something different and then come back to it. That's one thing about me, is that I'm a mood reader. And if I discover that I'm starting a book and I'm not really fully enjoying it, I know that it could just be me. I'm not so so arrogant and cocky that I assume that the book is just trash. I know that it could be me personally, because that's always a possibility. Just putting it out there to you reviewers out there. Sometimes it helps to just put the book down and not get too passionate, because it could be you also. So I am picking up something else. This is kind of what I personally feel like I'm in the mood for, is something just a little bit more bloody. And I think this is what I need to do. I think this will be a good way to bridge the gap between all of the Fear Street books I've been reading and some of the other books. So instead of jumping right into a coming of age story, let's try this out. I did not get very much time to read on the bookmobile. I read 3 pages and that was it, because we had classes coming out one after the other. So I didn't really get a chance to read in this. I do want to take off work a little tiny bit early today and go to Half Price Books, see if they have any Fear Street. Just take a peek. So I'm gonna take you with me and hopefully we can find something. Well, shit, I'm glad I went in there because I found some good stuff and I got to talk to some horror friends. Nobody that I know personally, but just like, you know, those horror kindred spirits. So I went to the horror paperback section. I found what I needed to find. I was out in the clearance section and this woman comes up to me and goes, "Hey, do you know where the horror paperback section is? I can't find it." Like, she saw me, she saw the horror book. She's like, "I'm gonna ask him where they are because he will know." And I show her where it's at and I'm like, "Actually, I see a book right now that I missed. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick this up." And she was like, "Yeah, you gotta come back and look, otherwise you'll miss some." And then when I was checking out, there was this woman who had a Humanoids from the Deep t-shirt, which is one of my favorite movies, especially my favorite Corman movie. So yeah, it was cool just getting to see like my people in there. But anyway, I'm going to show you what books I got really quick. So I found a lot of really good stuff. So I found, of course, Books of Blood, Clive Barker. This is volume 2. It was only $1.75. It's in really good shape. It's not a first printing. I've been trying to find first printings of these. This one's a 7th printing, so it's much later, but I found some other really good Clive Barker books. So I found In the Flesh. This is a first paperback printing, only $1.99. It's in great shape, so that was awesome. Also found Dream House by Christopher Fahey, which I already own a copy of. I actually have a really good one at home. This one's like in mint condition. It was only $1.99. Couldn't resist picking it up. I'm probably going to use this for like a trade with somebody else. I also got The Parasite by Ramsey Campbell. This was $2.49. This is a first printing of the paperback tour edition. It's like brand new. It's super shiny. And then I have another Clive Barker. Couldn't believe I saw this in there. This is a first paperback printing of Weave World with that amazing
amazing cover art. That's so good. It's in great shape. It was only $2.49 and it is a first printing. Just blew my mind. And then this is the one that I found when I went back and showed the lady where the paperback section was. This is Shadow Fires by Lee Nichols, aka Dean Koontz. This was only $1.99. This is, you know, one of his pseudonym books that he wrote. It is a first printing. This is a first edition, first printing. Amazing that I was able to find this, and it's in great condition. It's like brand new looking. So that was unreal. I'm so glad I went back and showed her where the section was. Otherwise, I would have totally missed it. And then here we have Drawing of the Three by Stephen King. It was only $2.99 for a first printing of the paperback. Me and the lady who was checking out my books in there, she was talking about this one. She was like, my copy of this at home is falling apart. I was like, oh my gosh, me too. That's why I bought this, because my copy is just like literally falling apart. So I'm glad to have a nice copy of that to replace my other one. Also picked up Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews. This is not a first printing of the paperback. I'd really like to get one with the actual, you know, die cut cover. This was only $1.48 though, and it's in great shape. And I don't actually own Flowers in the Attic. I have a lot of the other Dollanganger books, but I don't actually own this. So I had to pick that up since it was so cheap. And then of course found a couple of Boxcar Children. And then I found quite a few Babysitters Club books. Actually, also Nancy Drew. This is number 117, Mystery on the Menu. This is $1.99. It's a first printing. Look at that guy's face. So I got that from my Nancy Drew collection. Found some first printing Babysitters Club books. Here's Mystery number 16, Claudia and the Clue in the Photograph. Was $1.99. Jessie Ramsey Pet Sitter, which I think I already own a copy of. I'm not totally sure, but it was $1.38, so I went ahead and picked it up. Now that I get it out in the car, I'm pretty sure I actually already own that. So probably didn't need to buy that. This is Jessie's Secret Language, number 16. Again, these are first printings. And number 11, which is Christy and the Snobs. I'm gonna put all these away, probably grab some food from somewhere and then go home. I'm pretty tired. It's, you know, been a day at work, and I spent quite a bit of time in there, so it's time to go home.
Hi, it's a couple days later again, and I am only that far through for Paradise Club. What can I say? I've been very busy. I've been working full time, of course. Every night when I get home, I'm working on writing. Every morning I'm working on writing. And then on my weekends, I'm working on videos. So yesterday I pretty much just edited all day long. And now I can sit down and enjoy my Sunday a little bit. So I'm gonna dig into this, do some reading, hopefully get a little bit further. I did get some reading done last night before bed. I didn't read for very long. I only read for, I don't know, about a half hour. But I read a good chunk, like really quickly. This is picking up super quick. Like it's kind of goes in swinging. So this is already getting into the skirmish, I think it's called. It's called the skirmish. Yeah, the skirmish. And this is basically, it's basically the Purge set on an island. And it's even more brutal, though. It's because it's so contained, there's just nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. There are cameras everywhere. Everything is being televised. There's nowhere to go. It's intense. It's like last night when I was reading it, I'm like feeling like tense in my chest and like, where would I go? Would I go hide in a ventilation system? No, they'd find me. They would see me climbing up there to hide. There's nowhere to go. And there are so many just bloodthirsty killers, maniacs running around with axes. There's killer clowns with giant hammers. It's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare, and yeah, it's pretty brutal. And I'm excited to keep going with this because it's pretty fun so far. So yeah, gonna dig into this a little bit more. Okay, so Paradise Club. I am about 100 pages in now. I've been reading for a little bit, and it's fantastic. It's very fun, but it is genuinely intense. And I said this a minute ago, but it really is. Each death, even though it is bloody and over the top, has a lot of gravity to it. It makes it less fun in that way because you also feel really bad. I want to take a break from this just for a minute, not because I'm losing interest. Actually, this has my full attention, but I want to switch gears for a minute and read some more Scavenger Summer. So I am, of course, like halfway through this. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna read some Scavenger Summer for a little bit. We forget that we share this planet with things far older than us. They used to say things beyond our understanding, which makes them sound more magical than menacing, but they are neither, and they are both at the same time. What we need to remember is that we are little more than squatters here, or if you prefer, custodians. But the true owners of our home have always been here. They are part of the fabric of the land, the stuff of the soil. From the moment that the first caveman lit the first fire, there has always been this fear of the unknown, of what lurks out there in the darkness beyond the ring of firelight. I don't claim any great understanding, but that summer in the 80s and the months after, I saw things. I got a glimpse of the truth and felt the inherent evil of what went before. So, Scavenger Summer by Steven Saville. Even though this book is only 120 pages, I did have some issues with the pacing. And I don't think it was really because, a scene needed to be cut out or anything like that, because the book is pretty brief overall. It was mostly an issue that I had with the order that certain events happen in. For instance, the kids find their mom washed up on the beach, dead. Then they find out that she is still in their beach house cooking lunch, and that something has body snatched her. And then they go to a magic show on the boardwalk. And I just was like, I don't know if I would do that after finding my mom's dead body on the beach and knowing that a monster has possessed her body. I would probably not be wanting to go to a magic show as much as I love magic shows, but they do. And I feel like that should have been flip-flopped a bit. I feel like they should have gone to the magic show, been on their way back to the beach house, found their mom's body, and then things went from there. So there were issues I had with the pacing in that way and with the order that certain events happen in. But overall, I really enjoyed the book. I think it's a really cool take on, the environmental horror. I give it 3.5 stars. It could have easily been a 5-star read if it wasn't for some of the issues I had with the overall order of events and the pacing. I feel like the book could have been polished up a little bit more. Some events should have been flip-flopped. But overall, it's a good book. I do recommend it. So there is Scavenger Summer by Steven Saville.
We started out the vlog in the Frankenstein shirt, and we're ending it in the Frankenstein shirt. So I'm here to tell you my final thoughts on Paradise Club by Tim Meyer, Of Men and Monsters by Tom Deady, Soothing the Savage Swamp Beast by Zakary McGaha, and I'm halfway through Lords of the Deep. So I have a lot that I need to update you guys on. I've been reading whenever I get a chance. I've just been, at work. It's really hard to film when I'm there. I get home, I need to write, then it's dark. I've gone over this a bunch of times in the vlog so far, so you don't need me to repeat it, but I'm just saying. So I'm gonna try to tell you my final thoughts on these 3 books as quickly as possible. So first up, we have Paradise Club, best book that I have read so far in this entire reading vlog. 5 stars, fantastic, crazy, bonkers. If you want something just really fast paced, something very gory and violent and scary, and you want a little bit of cosmic horror thrown in there, yeah, that actually comes into play at some point. I'm not going to tell you how, but it's awesome when it happens. It's really awesome. And I'm not a huge cosmic horror fan, but for this, it was great. It was fantastic. So 5 stars. Read this. If you've not read this, please read it. It's just as good as everybody says. I truly loved it. It does hop perspectives, so if you're somebody who doesn't like that, I think it works for this. You are following different people on the island, and it hops perspectives very frequently, but I think it builds the whole thing up a lot more. It makes it a lot more intense. You get a lot more gore and violence that way because you're getting to see everything that's going on the entire island. Now, if you don't like gore, don't go for it. You're not gonna like this. Don't read it and be like, Cameron suggested this to me and it is just way too gory. I've told you how gory it is, so don't be dumb. Don't read it if you don't like that. But if that is something you like, You have to read this. Next up, Of Men and Monsters. If you like coming of age or something that's not really scary, just kind of like wholesome, but also dark in a way, this will have you set up. I really, really enjoyed this. I think it's very similar to Scavenger Summer. I think the two kind of go hand in hand. They would make a really good double feature. I think of the two, I liked this one a little bit more. I thought it was a little more well-rounded. I did tear up at the end, so it does get pretty sad. So I recommend this if you want a coming-of-age book. It's very short. You can't really go wrong. You can pick this up and read it in a day pretty easily. Okay. Next up, we have Soothing the Savage Swamp Beast by Zakary McGaha. So I have read a book by Zakary before, and that is Locker Arms. This is a weird book, and that is exactly the genre. It's horror. It is weird fiction. It's super bizarre. It's about this school where everybody in the school is like being affected by this presence that's in the lockers, and they call it the locker arms, and they'll like reach out and grab you. And there's also like this evil that branches out from the high school and infects the minds of everybody in the town. So everybody's kind of going crazy, unhinged. And it was just really weird and bizarre, and it worked. I will say I did not like the ending of this. I thought it was a bit of a cop-out because it just ends and that's it. There's no resolution. It doesn't really go anywhere. So that was disappointing. It made me give the book 3 stars, but otherwise I really liked this. So I was really excited to read Soothing the Savage Swamp Beast because I did enjoy Locker Arms, and it's basically this, Southern Gothic kind of story. There's also this creature that is said to be in the swamp, and it is also kind of affecting the minds of everybody in the town. It's very, very similar to Locker Arms. It's just instead of a school, you have a swamp monster. But I will say the swamp monster actually does not make an appearance until the very, very end of the book for about a page, and that's it. So that was disappointing. It gets a whole lot weirder than Locker Arms did, to the point where it was kind of just rambling a lot. And I'm just really sad to say that I personally did not like it. I wanted to, I really did. I just don't think this is for me. I think there is an audience for this. I just was reading it and I didn't really care what was happening. The book felt really angry in a way. Like there's just like a lot of kind of complaining about certain things, and it's just stuff that doesn't really matter. I don't know. I just didn't care for it. So Zach, thank you so much for sending this to me. Thank you for sending me Locker Arms. I really dug that book. I just don't feel like this one was for me. Love the cover. Love the cute little cow. Sea monster cow. I love it. I wish it had been in the book a little bit more. Okay, so there you go. That's my review of that. I'm sorry, Zach. I'm really, really sorry. Next up, Lords of the Deep. I am halfway through, and I'm enjoying this so far. I will say I'm not liking it as much as Paradise Club. I feel like that book was just fantastic. The writing in this is very good and a lot better than I thought. From the cover, I thought this was going to be like a sci-fi original movie. It's actually very well written. There are some really good characters in this. It's not what you would think from the cover. I would say that this is a lot like The Fog. So we have ghost pirates coming back from the grave and possessing people in order to track down this treasure that has been stolen. This treasure is making its rounds to all of these different people, and the pirates are trying to protect it with the aid of this sea serpent that likes to rise out of the water and attack people. So it's very much like The Fog, but instead of having fog, the pirates have a sea serpent. And I love all that. That's all great. And there's also this pirate festival that's supposed to go on in this little town next to the bay. But the pirate festival hasn't started yet. We're kind of just like working our way to the festival. And I'm halfway through the book, and I'm really, really wishing that the book had opened up during the pirate festival. I was kind of hoping like these people are coming to the festival to have a good time. Somebody finds the treasure, the ghost pirates come, the sea serpent is attacking people. That would have been a lot more fun. And I feel like it would have increased the pace a lot more, but it is actually a little bit slow for me. It tends to become very fast paced, and then it drops off again, and then something will happen to where I can't put it down, and then we have it get kind of slow again. I don't know. I still have half of the book to go, and I'm going to try to finish this today, and I will update you on my final thoughts. But so far, I would say it's about a 3-star read. It's not bad. I'm just not like hopping up and down over it like I was for Paradise Club. So I'm going to go ahead and try to finish this book up, and I will let you know my final thoughts. All right, just finished reading Lords of the Deep by Tim Meyer and Patrick Lacey, and I will say this definitely picked up at the end. There was a lot of sea monster action, a lot of ghost pirate action. It got pretty good, pretty crazy, a lot more entertaining. I will say though, the first part of the book was very slow, and I wish it had gotten to it a little bit faster. At the end of the day, it did pay off, and I do recommend this if you want a sea creature story, if you're a fan of John Carpenter's The Fog, if you want a sea creature story that's not exactly, you know, your average sea creature story. Yeah, I really like this overall. I would definitely recommend it if you want a summer horror read. So there you go. That's my summer horror reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you watched this far, you must have liked it, so please don't forget to give me a like down below. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought, if you've read any of these books, and if you don't have anything to say, just say, hey, Creep, that works too. Thank you so much for watching, and you can join me in the next episode of Library Macabre. Later, Creep.